There is something nobody tells you when you are young, busy, and absolutely certain you are living correctly. I have been on this earth for 88 years. I have buried a husband, raised children, held the hands of people I loved as they left this world. And for most of those years, I was chasing something I could not quite name, working toward it, worrying about it, measuring myself against it. What I did not know, what no one told me, is that the thing I was looking for was never where I was looking. And what I finally found, very late, in the quietest corner of a very long life, changed everything I thought I understood about what it means to have truly lived. Most of us spend our lives being extremely busy with the wrong things. Not wrong in a shameful way. Not wrong because we were foolish or careless. Wrong because nobody sat us down, not once, and said, "Here is what will matter when everything else has fallen away. Here is what you will wish you had understood at 30, at 40, at 50, when you still had time to let it shape the way you lived." Instead, we were handed a list. Work hard. Be responsible. Make something of yourself. Don't let people down. Keep going. And so we kept going. We kept going through the exhaustion and the busyness and the years that moved faster than we expected. We kept going with a quiet feeling in the background, a feeling most of us never said aloud, that something important was being missed, that we were present for our lives without ever quite arriving in them. You know that feeling. I think you have known it for a very long time. By the time I finish telling you what I finally understood, something you have been quietly circling for years may finally come clear. What I am about to share took me 8 decades to learn. I want you to have it sooner than I did. For most of my life, I believed that what I accomplished was what defined me. I believed this quietly without ever saying it out loud. I believed it the way you believe something you have absorbed from the air around you, from watching your parents, from school, from the way people spoke about others when they wanted to give them the highest praise. She worked so hard. He made something of himself. I remember sitting at my kitchen table in the winter of 1987. My children were grown and gone. My husband was working late, as he always did in those years. The house was quiet, and I had this sudden hollow feeling that I had been efficient and capable and responsible for so many years, and I had no idea whether any of it had mattered to a single soul the way I had hoped it would. The accomplishments were real, the effort was real, but the feeling of having truly connected to my own life, of having been fully present inside it rather than managing it from a careful distance, that feeling was harder to find than I expected. I did not understand it then. I only know now what that hollowness was trying to tell me. And what I did not yet know was that the most important thing was not behind me at all. It was still waiting. The second thing I spent too many years chasing was the approval of people who were too busy chasing their own. This is the one nobody admits to. We smile when we talk about not caring what others think. We say it confidently, as though we solved it long ago. But most of us, if we are honest at 3 in the morning, spent a quiet, persistent portion of our lives trying to be seen correctly by people who may never have truly seen us at all. I remember my mother's voice when she was proud of me. I was 61 years old and I still felt it, that particular warmth, that relief. And when she was gone, I realized I had been reaching for that feeling my entire life, from her and from others, in ways I had never once stopped to examine. The need to be seen, to be valued, to have someone whose opinion you trusted look at you and say, "Yes, you did well, you were enough." The quiet tragedy is that we spend so much of our lives trying to earn that from the outside, when the only person whose answer ever truly changes anything is ourselves. I wish I had understood that at 40. But what took me even longer to see comes next. I also spent years believing that if I could just get through the hard part, whatever the current hard part was, I would finally arrive somewhere peaceful. There was always a hard part. There was always something to endure, to manage, to survive. And I kept promising myself that on the other side of it, real life was waiting. The life I actually wanted. The one where I was finally present, finally rested, finally free to simply be where I was. I remember the summer of 2003. My husband had been unwell for 2 years. I was tired in a way that went all the way down. And I remember standing at our kitchen window one evening, watching the light go across the garden, thinking, "When this is over, I will finally rest. When this is over, I will finally pay attention." He passed the following spring, and I stood at that same window the following summer in a house that was very quiet, and I understood, with a grief that had no clean edges, that the light had been going across that garden every evening for years. I had simply been too busy surviving to let it land. Time does not wait for us to be ready. It moves through us, whether we are watching or not. So if not accomplishment, and not approval, and not the arrival of easier times, what is the thing that actually matters? I did not find the answer in a book. I did not find it in a church, though I have sat in many. I did not find it in the advice of wise people, though I have been fortunate to know a few. I found it in a very ordinary Tuesday afternoon in the autumn of 2019. I was 81 years old. I was sitting with my oldest friend Margaret on her back porch. We had known each other for 63 years. We were not talking about anything important. We were drinking tea. The light was low and gold, and she said something that made me laugh, a real laugh, the helpless kind, and I thought, this is it, this right here, not the achievements, not what anyone thought of me, not the future or the past or the careful management of either. This moment, this person, this laugh, this light. What I had been looking for my entire life was never a destination at all. And what I am about to say, I have never said to anyone before, not like this. The only thing that actually matters is presence. Not presence as a concept, not mindfulness as a practice, not something you read about and resolve to do. I mean the simple, radical act of being fully inside your own life, of letting the people you love be real to you, of letting ordinary moments land. I mean the cup of tea that is actually warm, the voice on the telephone that is actually your daughter, the garden that is actually outside your window right now, today. If you are carrying a life that feels like it is always almost beginning, I want you to hear this. You are not behind. You have not missed it. The window is still there. The light is still going across it. What I know at 88 that I did not know at 38 is this. The moments you are rushing through are the life. There is no other one waiting on the other side. You gave so much, for so long, to so many people, and you are allowed to put it down now. You are allowed to simply be where you are. That is not giving up. That is finally arriving. I see you, and I want you to know it is not too late. It was never too late. When I was young, I thought wisdom meant knowing many things. Now I think wisdom means finally being able to sit quietly with the few things that are true. You are alive today. That is not a small thing. That is everything. The people you love, even the ones who are far away, even the ones who are gone, they shaped you into someone worth being. Carry that gently. And the light that is going across your window right now, in whatever room you are sitting in, let it land. Just for a moment. Just today. That is all. That is enough. That has always been enough. If something you heard today felt true to something you have been quietly carrying, then this channel was made for you, and you are welcome here. Before I go, I want to say something clearly. Everything I have shared in this video comes from personal experience and personal reflection only. It is not medical advice. It is not financial guidance. It is not legal or psychological counsel of any kind. I am simply someone who has lived through something real and chosen to speak honestly about what that felt like. If you are facing serious challenges in any of these areas, please reach out to a qualified professional who can give you the real personal support you deserve. The stories and reflections shared here are meant only to offer comfort, honest perspective, and the quiet reassurance that you are not carrying this alone. Take whatever feels true to you. Leave anything that does not. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here with me today.